Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about INFJs and autistic INFJs never finding our true purpose. That nagging worry that we have, so many of us have, that we're never ever going to find our true purpose. This is such a great topic. So many of us struggle with this, and I'm going to share with you one thing that was really stopping me from finding my true purpose, and I actually didn't even link it to stopping me from finding my purpose. I didn't link those things together. So if you're struggling with this, or if you have this worry that you're never going to find your true purpose, stick around because it's going to be a great conversation. If we haven't met before, welcome to my channel. My name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I created this channel with hopes of helping people like myself, INFJs and autistic INFJs, feel seen, heard, understood, and less alone. And I also wanted to create a place where I could share resources because I know from all the years I've spent working on myself, there are very limited resources for INFJs and autistic INFJs because we're very unique individuals, and what works for other people generally doesn't work for us. Not completely. So anyway, I wanted a place where I could show resources, so I just created it myself to share some resources. So welcome to my channel. If you're new, I hope you find it helpful. If you're returning, I'm glad you came back. I'm very grateful for you all. I also invite you to, if you haven't yet, to subscribe to my channel and like this video. I would really appreciate the support. Before we get going, I do want to mention that I'm launching this week my brand new course on demand, Navigating the Depths of Introverted Intuition. It's on my website. I'm very excited about this. I taught this one live and it was great. We had so much fun. So for INFJs, it's written specifically for INFJs by an INFJ, myself. And it's for those that really want to understand how our introverted intuition works, how it feels in our body, how it speaks to us, how to strengthen it, what blocks it, how to tell if it's fear or intuition, and the importance of our intuition. It's our first preference in our personality type. We use it every day, but sadly, many INFJs have never learned to use it because of a lot of reasons, but mostly because we were told it was bad or we were made feel bad about using it. So anyway, if you want more information about this, I put the link in the description of this video. Go ahead and check it out. I'm pretty excited about it. Okay, let's get into this. I worried constantly until I was almost 40. I worried that I was never going to find my true purpose. I mean, I'm a worrier. I worry about worrying, so of course I'm going to worry about this, but it was something that was always coming up. Like, what is my purpose? Like this, there's got to be more to life. I remember sitting there. I would have jobs and I didn't like them. And I remember sitting there watching the clock tick by, saying to myself, there's got to be more to life than this. This can't be my purpose. This just can't be my purpose, right? I never felt passion or excitement or anything. Like I would see other people, they'd be so excited to go to work and they were doing so well in their careers because they obviously found their purpose and they were just embracing it, and I couldn't do that because I had no excitement, no passion in what I was doing, and I felt like I was being a failure. The thing that I discovered in my journey is that I was creating my own chaos for this. I was creating my own worry. I was stopping myself from finding my purpose. My purpose I didn't even say that right. My purpose was always there. I was stopping myself from, I'm going to use the term stepping into it, stepping into my purpose. It was my inner critic, my inner voice that really held me back. Because when I would find things that I had passion about, that I was excited, that really lit me up, made me stand taller, because those are the things, when we find things like that, that is part of our purpose. When I would find things like that, I'm going to say more about that in just a second, but I'm going to finish this little rant that I'm on. When I would find things like that, my inner voice would start, you can't, or I can't do this. I'm too stupid. I'm too weird. Oh, this isn't for me. People like me. We don't succeed doing this. I can't do something like this. I'm not creative. I'm not gifted. I'm not... Oh my gosh, the list goes on. My inner critic was very, very critical, very mean. My inner voice was just mean. So now going back to my next thought, when I said that the things that make us stand up taller, that bring us excitement, that passion, like we can feel it. It's like that vibration in our bodies. Follow those. Notice when you feel like that, because that is part of your purpose. A purpose isn't just one thing. And that's another thing that I had a belief about, is that our purpose was one thing. Our purpose is many things. We have many purposes in life, right? Like at this moment, right now, at this time, my purpose is to do this video for you. This is my purpose today, is to do the best video for you right at this moment today. And that's my purpose. So do you follow what I mean by that? That a purpose isn't just one specific thing. It can be many things. It could just be one thing. If that's what it is for you, it could be. There's no right or wrong for it. But it's those things that light us up, that make us feel good, that, we'll stand tall. We're not feeling that shame. We're not feeling bad about ourselves, right? Those are our purpose. Now, I needed to shut down my inner critic, because as soon as I found things like that inner voice would start and I wouldn't do it. I'd be like, oh, nope, can't do it. That's not for me. And I'd go back to my life, plugging away, sitting there, wondering what my purpose was, worrying that I'm never going to find it, even though it was right there in front of me, because I listened to that inner critic. And many INFJs, I know working with INFJs, my clients, we have a very nasty inner critic, that inner voice. Now, the thing to remember about that inner voice is that my phone case is on the floor and it's bothering me. Speaking of being an INFJ and things bothering us, it was touching my toe and I don't like that. Anyway, that inner voice becomes our personal prophecy. This is huge. So if this is the only thing you get out of this video today, let it be this. That inner voice that we have, the things we tell ourselves, becomes our prophecy. So when we tell ourselves, I can't, I won't, this is not for me, people like me can't, all of those words that come up, it stops us from taking action. I've used this as an example. For many INFJs, I'm sure a lot of you could relate to this, about meeting the significant other. Lots of INFJs say the soulmate, that person they're supposed to be with, right? And I see it come up lots on social media and in my clients, and they say, I can't meet. I won't ever meet. When we say this, we stop going out and meeting people. We don't realize this is what's happening, but it stops us from taking action. If we don't go out, we're not going to meet somebody. That's just an example. Meeting people might bring you to your purpose. It may not. But anyway, I was just using as an example how it will stop our action. When we say that, we stop going out, we stop going to events, we stop socializing, we isolate. And of course, we're not going to meet anybody if we do that, right? And the same goes for our purpose. For me, when I would find those things that would light me up, all the things that people have said to me, and lots of people were not very nice to me because I'm super weird, and I can embrace that now. I'm weird and I like it because that's who I am. It makes me unique. But back then, well, even I still get it. Even now, it just doesn't bother me anymore. I use it as a compliment. Thanks for noticing I'm weird. Yes, I am. Anyway, a few years back when I didn't, and into my childhood, all those voices would come back into my head and it would feed my inner voice, and I would talk myself out of taking action. You know what? I wouldn't even get to the action point. I would think of something, like I knew what my purpose was. It was there. I would think of it. It would bring me joy. I had so much interest, so much passion, and I would research it, and I knew what it was, but I would never allow myself to take action because I was too scared that if I did, that voice that I heard in my head and everything everybody else said to me was going to be true because I was going to fail. There's lots of little components to why we don't find our purpose, but I believe that a lot of it starts on our inner voice of what we're telling ourselves, because that controls our action, right? So once we calm that inner voice and start creating a more positive voice that will help us take the action, then we can start facing those fears that we have and everything else that's holding us back, but we can allow those things that bring us joy, that bring us passion, our purpose. We can allow it to come in. We can step into our purpose, right? But I think that it all starts with an inner voice. I mean, that was huge for me, was calming that inner voice. So now I'm going to share with you ways to change that inner voice, because I really think this is important in so many aspects of an INFJ's life, just not finding our true purpose, just aspects in general. That inner voice can be very nasty. The first thing that I did was notice when I was doing it. I became mindful. This took practice. Mindfulness isn't an INFJ's strong point. That's what I'm going to say. Can't think of any other word. It's not a strength of ours, mindfulness. We have to make ourselves be mindful, which is interesting because we spend an awful lot of time in our minds, right? However, mindfulness, we have to be in our bodies. So just notice what we're saying, when we're saying it, that sort of thing, and have compassion for ourselves. If it's a really nasty inner voice like mine, don't get mad at yourself, come down on yourself. Oh, stupid me, here I go again, because that's just feeding it. We don't want to say that. We want to have compassion. Notice it. Oh, there I go again. I did it again. Then we want to reframe it. What do you want to say? Instead of that nasty inner voice saying, no, you can't do this. This isn't for you. People like you can't. What is it that you want to say to yourself? What would you rather hear all the time? I would rather hear, this is cool. Let's give it a shot. See where it takes us. Instead of, no, you can't do that. So I would reframe it and say that instead. Think about, what do you need to say in order to become that person that's going to lead you to your purpose? I hope that makes sense. Who do you need to become in order to find your purpose? You know what your purpose is. We all do. We all know what that purpose is, because it's the things that light us up in life. So who do we need to become in order to take that for ourselves, right? That's what you need to say. What would that person say? It's a little bit of research on our part, maybe, to think about the things that we want to say to ourselves, especially if you're like me. I had a hard time with it at first because I was so nasty to myself that I had a really hard time trying to think of nice things to say to myself and what I wanted to say to myself, because I was in the habit of being nasty and mean. So because it was suggested to make a list of what I would rather say to myself, and that was really hard for me, but I had compassion and it took me a little bit to do it. It's a little bit of work, but it's worth it. It truly is worth it to just jot down some things that you would rather say about yourself than what you're saying, so that you can step into your purpose, because it's there. It's probably dangling in front of you. However, we're so stuck often. Most of us are so stuck on being negative to ourselves and nasty to ourselves that we don't allow ourselves to even see that it's there, because we don't think that we're capable of even taking it. So I hope this was helpful for you today. I do have passion talking about this, that inner voice, because it was a huge change for me when I got a grasp on it and I started switching it around to be more positive. I was amazed at how things changed for me in so many ways in my life. So many. And one of it was allowing myself to step into my purpose. And really, that's what it's about. Again, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much for joining me. I invite you to subscribe to my video and like this video. Feel free to share it. The more times it's shared, the more INFJs we get to help. And that's really what it's about. Again, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you real soon with another video. Bye for now.